Hello and welcome to this month's Avera Family Forum, where we provide you with information to strengthen your family. This month we want to cover everything from school lunches to summer camps to all the available resources in our community that can help you and your children get through and have a wonderful summer break from school. As a reminder for all of our viewers and listeners, we do partner with Avera Behavioral Health for a variety of this information, and that's where we're going to start with some really great resources that are available to our families during the summer months when maybe the school counselor isn't readily available and accessible, but really Avera Behavioral Health makes it very easy for families to reach out if they need that help.
It really does, and I think, Deanne, this is a perfect way to start because so many times our families are looking during that school year to contact somebody in the school system to help them out with that resource, and we're just here to say you can actually do this for yourself, not just during the summertime, but also during the school year if you needed to. So we happen to have some slides that Avera has provided for us that we're going to go through so that you know what is available at Avera. So the first slide that we have up is going to talk about that urgent care need. We hope that none of us ever need it, but boy, when we need it, we're glad it's there. And so if you need to during the summertime, or again on your own time during the school year, call the 1-800-691-4336 phone number. It is a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week phone number that is manned by an intake worker. They will ask you questions about what is happening with your child at that time. Is it suicidal thoughts? Are there the possibility of thoughts of maybe delusions or just anything that you're concerned about? They'll take you through what should happen. Should you come in and have an assessment done for your child? Are there other referrals that might be a possibility? You'll also see on that first slide that there's also a phone number for behavioral health navigators, and they really do help to bridge that connection between a possibility of an assessment being done or whatever else that needs to happen. So sometimes they're a good first step if you don't feel like you're in crisis mode. So overall, what can Avera provide for your child? And we're going to start in that second slide in the way lower corner where it says behavioral health urgent care. So we just talked about that you can call 24/7 to find out, should I bring my child in or not for an assessment? And then we move on over to the 24/7 inpatient or residential services. And so let's say after that assessment is completed, it looks like more treatment is needed. It could be both for adults and for children, that perhaps it's going to be an in-stay treatment that's going to be recommended. That will cover your mental health needs. It will also cover chemical dependency needs for adults and teenagers. It could be that it moves on to outpatient services from that residential service, or it may also be that just from the get-go, it's okay to look at mental health outpatient services. So the mental health outpatient services includes things such as one-on-one therapy, family therapy, group therapy, and then also hits on that chemical dependency needs that both, again, adults and teenagers may have, and that Avera is able to do the assessments and the therapy is provided. And then we end with the partial hospitalization treatment that has begun in the last few years, where it's very intentional looking at adults and our teenagers and letting them come for treatment during the day, but being able to go home and sleep in their own beds at night. And that takes us to our last slide, which talks about the summer education and support that Avera offers. So one of the groups that's offered is an 8 to 12 week program for mental health issues with our adolescent group, those teenagers that just need more. And just because the end of the school year has come to us, we know that treatment could be done during the summertime and would be very helpful. There's also specialized treatment for individuals with emotional intensity, so just a little bit more therapy is going on, and not so much in the group, but more on the one-on-one setting. They also offer DBT therapy, which also focuses on skills to cope with life stressors. And then the last is the outpatient eating disorders group that is offered with Avera. So, Deanne, we're hoping that our families and our guardians know that, again, just because it's the end of the school year, they can take it on through the summertime to get help for their kids.
And wonderful resources in our community. You just have to reach out and
Yes.
And they'll take it from there.
Exactly.
We're so grateful for those partnerships, and we'll continue to talk about summer opportunities for you and your family. Gay Anderson joins us now to tell us about the plans for summer lunch, and we should say summer meals because we have breakfast and lunch in some locations. So tell us a little bit about that program. I think it's one of the best kept secrets, and shouldn't really be a secret. We should be shouting it from the rooftops. But there are locations throughout the summer where any student can come in, get a free meal, breakfast or lunch. Tell us about that program.
Oh, sure. So we have 8 locations this summer that will be considered what we call open sites. So anybody can come in from the community, children 1 year of age all the way up to age 18. No questions asked, free meal, walk in and we'll provide it for you. 2 of our locations at Hawthorne and Garfield, they'll be serving lunch only. Their hours are going to be like 11:30 to 12:30 for lunch. And then we have 6 locations that we're also going to be serving breakfast and lunch. And the time for breakfast is going to be from 8 to 8:30. Lunch is also going to be 11:30 to 12:30. And those 6 locations are Annie Sullivan, Terry Redlin, Sonia Sotomayor, Robert Frost, Hayward, and JFK.
Okay, and why are those locations selected? How do you go about selecting? Because I know in the past couple of years people say, well, why not here, why not there? But there really is some criteria to be met.
Correct. So what we have to do there is we have to have a certain amount of free and reduced qualifications out of that building, or else we call it census data. And so it's based on like the neighborhood and all that, if it qualifies for a certain area where we're able to offer free meals. And so there's something we call an area eligibility map that comes from USDA, and you plug in the address and see if you can serve meals there. And if we're able to do that strategically and make it work where we know kids can come in, it's easy access, we plan on opening those sites.
Great. And so we talked about there isn't any paperwork that needs to be done. You don't need to sign your child up. If they want to come on a Monday and then not show up again until the following Wednesday, that's fine. How do you plan and prep for that?
We go on some past data. We have a backup plan for those times when maybe we have an overabundance coming in compared to what we had planned for. And so we kind of always just try to figure out, okay, this is a popular meal, this is what we've served in the past. Once we get a menu cycle under the belt, it's also a little bit easier. And we adjust as we need to each day, figuring out, okay, maybe we prepared too much now, we'll cut back this time, or we're going to bump it up for next.
Sure. So those meals, they are Monday through?
They're Monday through Friday.
Right? And again, those times, 8 to 8:30 for breakfast.
Correct.
In those locations where breakfast is served, and then 11:30 to 12:30. Does an adult need to come with the student?
So adults don't have to be present. What we would say, if you have a lot of little ones, it is nice for managing your other children or some of the children that we would have you, if you're bringing the littler ones in, that you would be present there. But anyone up again to the age of 18 can walk in the door and be served. Again, no questions asked. They walk in. They do have to eat on site. They can't take their food home with them.
Okay, and this is a program of the U.S. Department of Agriculture,
Right.
correct?
It's totally funded by USDA.
And that's where the funding comes from. Not the same set of circumstances during the school year, but when it's available during the summer, parents and families can really save a lot of money at home. And also, if you don't have someone who's able to use an oven or something like that safely, this is a real great opportunity.
Definitely. They're able to have a well-balanced meal based on USDA standards. And I will throw in one other thing. Adults can come. They would have to pay for the meal themselves. And it would
But
be...
again, for the cost of an adult meal, you're not going to find that at any drive-through.
Correct.
It's a pretty good deal. Definitely. So any last words you want to tell folks and encourage them to come?
Well, we're going to start the day after Memorial Day, and we'll be running through August 9th, and we would love to feed your kids. So that's the best thing. Bring them on in.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Kay.
Thank you.
Our community learning centers have become a very popular option for after-school care and also for summer care. Paul Kaiser, you're telling me that we are we're bursting at the seams this summer with kids who are going to be participating. Tell us a little bit about what the CLCs have in store for this summer.
Yes, the summer option's been very popular for the Community Learning Center, and we expanded a lot of our programming, and the things that we're bringing in for the summer is, so we partner, the Community Learning Center partners with the community, so Boys and Girls Club, MB, Volunteers of America, and the YMCA, and so they're running our programming, but we have a lot of very cool options for kids, whether that's soccer opportunities or other, STEM or STEAM or any other enhancement type programming where the community is really supporting us on it.
Awesome. So there'll be about 1,000 kids, you said, who will participate in this summer program. They'll be in schools throughout the district, elementaries throughout the district?
Elementaries through the district, yes. So 1,000 kids this summer. We expanded that from 400 last year, and they'll be in 10 different elementaries where last year we served in 2.
Okay, so that's quite a big leap.
Yes.
And you have to have the staffing to go right along with that. Such a critical piece, and we know our community is talking a lot about the availability of care for children, no matter what those ages. So probably always looking to hire also.
Always looking to hire. So for every staff that we get, we can support 15 kids, and those are state regulations. So at that elementary age, yes, it's a 1 to 15 ratio.
Yeah, so obviously we want to have enough staff to have your child to have a good experience, and so that's important, but licensing and things like that really dictate that as well. What about field trips and things like that? What kinds of things, I know you said STEAM, soccer camps, things like that. What are some of the traditional things that the community may see our kids out doing?
Yeah, so the always popular option is the swimming pools.
Oh,
the kids get to go to the swimming pools multiple times a week.
Sure.
We're working with other community partners to bring the kids to their programming as well. And each of the individual agencies who are operationalizing those sites, they also have their things that they do in the community that kids can go
participate
in that as well.
Yeah, so I think Canaries,
Yeah.
They've kind of done some of that in the past. Do they go to the zoo or other parks, things like that?
The zoo, other parks. I know they were planning a recycling week, and where we work with the city of Sioux Falls to explore some of their different options. There are just whether it's Washington Pavilion or those different types of resources that we work with as well. So.
Awesome. So it's good quality care, which you start at what time in the morning till what time at night?
We start at 6:30 in the morning, and then we end at 6 at night.
Wow, so that's a pretty expansive ability to care for children, but in addition to that, it's not daycare per se. There's a lot of learning that goes on.
Absolutely. So each of the agencies have their different curriculum that they like to support kids in with, but each of them have their own curriculum where they are still working with just literacy or math and science and different things. So yes, there's that learning component as well.
Absolutely. Well, a good option for summer. 1,000 kids. We're so grateful. They're going to have fantastic experiences, and that'll bring us start right after Labor Day, or when do you start?
The day after,
not Labor Day, Memorial Day.
The day after Memorial Day. So May 28th through August 9th is the summer.
All righty, and then before we know it, we'll be back
in school.
Starting school again. All right. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you so much.
Summer brings about a lot of free time for our kids, but there are some productive things that they can be doing throughout the summer as well that may be a little bit of fun and also lend themselves to, when they come back to us in school, maybe sharpen some of their skills. So Mike, you want to tell us about some of those things?
Absolutely. There are many fine arts opportunities this summer that I want to share with you today. The first one we have is our Youth Summer Band and Orchestra, which is running June and July on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at Edison Middle School. And they're playing a wide variety of music from Taylor Swift to Disney to Encanto music and many more. Be a great opportunity to get some fun music playing in. The Summer Youth Band is kids entering 6th grade through 12th grade. And the Summer Orchestra is entering 5th grade through 12th grade. You can find all that on the flyer and register through community education.
Right.
Another opportunity is show choir camps and dance camps. And those are middle school students only. And those are being held at the high schools. And you can sign up for those on the district website under the summer enrichment programs. We do have some other community fine arts organizations that I want to share their information today as well. The Leavitt and Augustana University have a jam camp, which is new this year. That's for all grade levels. The Washington Pavilion and DAPA have some summer camps and classes, productions for all ages, including art, music, and theater. And finally, our last one is the Premier Playhouse, which offers 2 summer musical camps and other classes, and that's ages 6 through 14. So lots of opportunities for our students to continue their musical journey and explore the fine arts further.
Right, and no time to sit around. If
No
you
time
went
to sit
and
around.
did all of those things, that'd be a pretty robust summer.
Very busy, keeping you playing and keeping you busy.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Transitions from elementary to middle and middle to high school are always a difficult thing for families to think about in the summer months, but there is help available at our middle schools. We have a lot of different programs going on in our middle schools to help those students who are just coming into middle school, or maybe even those that are going from middle to high school, get them acclimated and get them feeling more comfortable. So Shane, you want to tell us a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, all the middle schools have what we call a Running Start program. It is really there to help our elementary students transition into middle school. We know that it can be a stressful time because it's new. You go from one classroom teacher to 8 to 10 classroom teachers, and you go into a much larger building. And so we run a 2-week program in the summer for Running Start program, where kids are able to come in and they work with staff for a half a day, 4 days for a week, and then they just learn, what is a schedule like? How do I go through the cafeteria? How do I get my locker? How do I make sure I don't get lost in the building? And so we'll do a bunch of different activities to help transition that piece of it and try to lessen their anxiety about coming to middle school and figuring out, how do I make new friends? Because I go from one elementary school to, like Ben Rifle, we have 4 elementaries that come into our building, and so you're gonna make new friends and you're just gonna learn how to interact with one another and be part of a team. The other thing we do have that goes along with that is we have web, and that's where everybody belongs. And we'll have a web orientation day, where our web leaders, which are our 8th graders, that come into the building and work with our incoming 6th graders, and they do some team building activities, and they get to really know that web that web student, because they'll work with that student all year. During our pro time, and our pro time is kind of like an ad room, for lack of better words. It's where people are. Pro time is people relating to others, and so figuring out, how do we work with one another in a team atmosphere. And so they'll do some team building activities on that web orientation day and just really get to know each other and start to build that family atmosphere.
And that's a really important program, even for our 6th graders incoming, but also for the 8th graders to build their leadership skills, because they're going to be taking those leadership skills into the high school and probably become some of our more active leaders at the high school level too.
Yeah, and it's a great program for our kids to show those leadership skills. And so anytime we need someone to step up and lead, our web leaders tend to be the ones. And we always say to our kids, these are the leaders and the role models in our building. And so when you're looking to do something or you're looking to emulate something, you look to those kids, because they're going to be the ones that really kind of model our values and what we want to see in our students in our building. And so they do have that leadership in our building, and they are great leaders when they go on to high school and they step up and do those activities there as well.
And you guys are really good at building culture at middle school as well. I know that at Ben Rifle you do a lot of things the Bison way.
Yeah.
And your Running Start program is actually called Bison Boost.
Bison Boost, yeah.
Right, so that culture is so important too, and that's really what you want to build also in the summertime and throughout the entire school year.
Yeah, you know, you really look at our Bison Boost and any of the other programs with Running Start, it really is that of who are we as Bison and who are we as Patrick Henry students or Memorial students, because you're really looking at establishing that culture, because you want kids to feel that sense of belonging as soon as they come in, because they're new and they haven't been around it before, and so you're really building that culture and those values that you want your kids to exhibit each and every day when they're with you. So.
And sometimes, yes, it is peace of mind for the student, but having been a parent of middle schoolers in the past, sometimes you need peace of mind as a parent that they're going to be okay. Yeah. And so it probably is just as much for the parent as it is for, while we don't necessarily bring the parents along for the Bison Boost or what have you, but it is good for the parent to know that their kid has already met new people, developed some sort of comfort in the hallways and that type of thing.
Yeah, we always talk about when those first couple weeks of school start, you can handpick the kids that have had participated in our summer programming with Bison Boost because they have that sense of comfort. But you can also pick out the parents when we do our Bison Roundup Day. They know the building, they know how to get around the building, they know what a team is, they know what a house area is, and so they have that sense of comfort as well. And we do a program in the spring called Surviving Middle School in Your Adolescent for those parents because they don't know what middle school is like, and so many of them this is their first time of having a middle schooler, and so they don't know what to expect, and so they too have that sense of comfort and that sense of belonging when we start in the fall, because they know what to expect. And so it's nice to provide those activities and those experiences for families to be able to feel a sense of comfort at middle school.
Right, we want it to be a great experience for the student, but more so for the family as well.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Shane. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Todd Novak is in charge of our Summer Connections at Jefferson High School. Talk about the Summer Connections program. What is that? Who is it for? It's really for incoming ninth graders, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So our incoming ninth graders, we're moving to a new building. We're moving to a larger building. We're making that leap to high school. And what we're finding is that if we can get them in the building, and our goal is really to give them a first positive experience of high school, that really takes away kind of the jitters. We take away some anxiety, we take away some unknowns, so that when they do come to the building, they're ready to go.
So they're coming into the building, they're getting acclimated to that building, but there's also an infusion of academics as well in this program. So talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, at all four of the high schools, we do like a full day program, and so there are some academic parts of that. There's some, we get them what are credits, what are GPAs. We do some, some reading, some science. We try to build some ideas into them that they will see their first year of high school, so that they've got a good handle on that. But we really focus on culture, as well as just getting to know upperclassmen, getting to know each other, and having that kind of like I said, a first positive experience in high school and ready to go.
We know that when a student comes in and has a good, strong foundation, a good start, if they can stay on task with getting the number of credits they need, that is an important factor in their success of graduating in 4 years. Not that we won't accept kids, 4.5 years or 5 years, but really everybody kind of wants to do the 4-year thing, of course. And so talk about how important it is as a freshman. I know you oversee the Freshman Academy as well, and kind of the philosophy behind that.
Right. So Connections is really the first step in our process to get from 8th grade to 10th grade. And so what we want to do is we want to get as many kids in there, and we want to have them have that experience, but we also treat them as leaders. We say part of the reason that you are here right now, and I think this is true at all 4 of the schools, is so that you are ready to lead your friends who are not a part of this through that first day, that first week, that first month of high school, and ultimately that we want them to finish that 9th grade. We know that if a kid does not finish with 5 credits at the end of their first year, their chances of successfully graduating go down dramatically. And so we put a lot of time and energy into that process, and that first step is connections, where we have you with us for about 8 days. It's a little bit different in each of the schools, but that's roughly about the amount. And then to give you all the tools that you need, both academic, relational, experiential, so that you can have a great first year of high school.
Any student, incoming 9th grader, should consider connections. Not everybody does.
Correct.
People are busy, they think, oh, I don't need that. But it really is something that can make or break that first year for some kids.
It really does. It really does. And at Jefferson, we're offering a new piece this year. We're doing, for those that where connections is too big, it's too big of a footprint. We're doing a 4-hour, what we're calling a fast pass. And there are 4 opportunities over the course of the summer where we kind of take the best of all of our program that we can fit into that 4 hours and give you that experience and give you some opportunity to kind of get into the building and begin that process of having a great freshman year.
Right, it's all about the student's success. So parents, really, you want to consider this.
Absolutely.
It's not a punitive kind of thing or for a certain kind of kid. It's for any kid to get moving forward and really off on the right foot.
It is, and it's not just high school. It's kind of camp meets high school. It's the most fun I have all year, and so we really have a good time.
Are we paying you for this?
We are.
Awesome. Well, see Todd at Jefferson High School, and every one of our high schools has a program just like this. So find out about it, ask your counselor about it, and certainly we'll get you hooked up so that we can get your student off to the best start possible.
I think there's a URL that we're going to put on the page, and that's good for all 4 of the high schools. That no matter what high school you go to, you can use that, and it'll get you to where you need to be.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Deanne.
People often ask us what goes on in our buildings during the summer months. They think that since we're not in session that our buildings just sit idle, but Steve Moore, Roosevelt High School, that is far from the truth.
That's very far from the truth. Yeah, high school buildings are very busy during the summertime. We have lots of activities going on for our high school kids, for middle school kids, and elementary kids. For elementary and middle school kids, we have camps, primarily athletic camps, primarily at all 4 of our high schools during the summer months, starting in June, going through about the end of July. We end those camps. We do have a show choir camp at Roosevelt this summer too. That's for elementary, middle school, high school kids as well. And then our high school kids at all 4 of our high schools in Sioux Falls are involved in open gym activities, weight room activities, having field turf experiences, just with their sports programs, and it's really good. Usually our programs start early in the morning, Monday through Thursday, and then run till early afternoon to late afternoon.
Right. So our gyms are busy, auditoriums like the theater areas and such. Those are full with practices that are going on, and then some performances even in the summer for theater as well.
Yeah, we do have some of the high schools that have a summer theater performance going on, and but as far as events going on, not a lot at our high schools, but mostly camps and the open gym activities.
How can families find out about the camps that might be available right in their neighborhood?
Yeah, if they just reach out to their high schools, go onto the high school websites, the 4 local high school websites, they'll be able to find the camp links, open gym links, or if they're having trouble with that, just contact each of the activities offices at our 4 high schools.
Right, and typically these camps might be a fundraiser for the high school program, so there may be a cost involved, but it's a very reasonable cost. And what is that money sort of used for?
Yeah, if we charge for a camp, it's a fundraiser for our programs. It goes into their trust and agency account, and then they're able to use that money to purchase things for their programs as the school year goes, as we go into the school year. But yeah, we don't charge much for our camps. We realize that we just want to get kids involved, and so it's not a real financial issue. Some of our camps are even free, and so we just want to get kids involved.
Right, and you can come to the high school where your child will attend, but you don't necessarily have to. If the date works better, and you say you're in the Roosevelt attendance area, but the one over at Lincoln works, you can do that as well.
Yep, a camp, if it's labeled as a camp, it's open to all of our students in the district. And so if you're a third grader that lives way on the east side of town, you want to come to basketball camp on the west side, you're more than welcome to do that. Yeah, if the time works and the location works, you're more than welcome to do that with the camps, so yeah.
Right, of course we want to build our future programs coming up, but certainly just want to give kids the opportunity.
Yep. And that's important in the summer. We know parents struggle at times to get kids involved with certain things, so our high schools do have a lot of valuable programs. Spend some time with our coaches and our directors and just have a fun summer.
Good, very good. Well, if sports or fine arts are your things, check out the high schools. Sure to have something to offer.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
A growing population in the city of Sioux Falls are folks who are new to our country, new to learning the language, and we have some opportunities available for students who maybe need some additional supports over the summer to be able to continue to sharpen their English speaking skills. Sarah, you want to tell us a little bit about what goes on in the summer months for our students who are learning the English language?
Sure. So most of our programming this summer is going to focus on supporting our students who are new to the country in the last year. So at the Elementary Immersion Center, we will have programming for K through 4th grade there. 3 weeks in June, specifically working on listening, speaking, reading, and writing, continuing on some of the curriculum that they started through the school year, and then also giving them an opportunity to be immersed in other things in our community. So they do field trips once a week, and then they bring those experiences back to the classroom and do listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities surrounding those field trips.
Awesome, and so that's the elementary component. We also have some supports for our middle and high school students as well.
Yep, so at the middle school level, our newcomer classes will be meeting at Edison. And similar to the elementary, they do experiences, field trips once a week, listening, speaking, reading, and writing surrounding those. And at the middle school level, we start to do a little more career exploration along with that. So they have an event at Augustana that they'll be doing that is sports related, but it does get them on the campus.
Oh, absolutely. That'll be a fun experience, I'm sure, for them. And then at high school, we're working on, again, developing some of those language skills, but also trying to help our students gain credits.
Right.
So important.
So important. So at the high school level, graduation is the focus. And they've got 4 years to do it. And any student who enters in the second semester has a whole semester worth of credits that they need to gain that they weren't even here to acquire. So for our newcomers, again, we'll have just emergent level English classes with the field trips similarly as to the other levels. And then we are offering also speech and some online components as well for students who just need to gain some credits towards graduation.
Right, and students from all 4 of our high schools then those classes will be focused out of our Axtell Park building.
That's correct. Central location for all of them.
Absolutely. So we definitely, we hear summer slide is kind of a catchphrase for those of us who, whose children have grown up in the American education system. But how critical is it to really keep those skills sharp for students who are just acquiring the language?
Have you ever tried to learn an additional language?
You know, I have, and I had, let's say, 4 years, one class period a day. I can say very few sentences.
Yes, so that immersion and that practice in the language is critical. So they can make those connections in the language that they already speak proficiently and continue to build that vocabulary as well.
Absolutely, so very, very important. We also have a segment of our population, our migrant students, and there's an event specifically for those students and families.
That's right.
Tell us about that.
So our migrant population is anybody who's moved to our city that is specifically working in the agricultural field. So for those two qualifiers, and you qualify for migrant, we have an event at the Washington Pavilion for the entire family. That'll be May 28th. To experience the pavilion as well as connecting with some of the resources we have in our community that they could tap into over the summer. So maybe getting a library card or getting a pool pass for the city, those types of things as well.
Sure, sure. So again, helping them get acclimated, and also giving them the experiences that will continue to help build their language.
Exactly.
In our city. So lots of great things going on. About how many students do we have that are working on English skills at the time?
This morning when I checked, we have 3,030 currently in our EL program.
And that number is up.
That is over 300 more than we had at this year last time.
Okay. Well, certainly a great addition to our community. They add so much richness, and we learn a lot about cultures and things like that. And so, again, important for us as a school district to support those families and children to become successful adults.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Lots of exciting things going on here at the Career and Technical Education Academy, which is where our K-Learn T-Bean studio is located. And Ashar is the counselor out here, and you have a whole list of things that are going on and very fun. Why wasn't I a middle schooler in the current day? Because there's some really great things going on.
There really are. We have a lot of summer camps that are available for students going into grades 6 through 9. So we offer health careers, and we spend some time here at CTE doing different activities, and then they go over to Southeast and look at the different health career programs over there, and we take a trip out to Sanford Research Center so they get to have a tour over there, and they also get to do classes.
Wow.
And then we also offer welding camp, so students will learn a little bit about the welding world, and they will come home with some things that they've made, and they also will get to take a tour of a business that does welding.
Right. Good.
And
what else?
oh, we have several, yeah. We have construction camp.
Okay.
And so for anybody that has any interest in carpentry and wanting to learn some things about those skills, we offer a carpentry camp. And then we also offer baking and pastries.
Ooh, sign me up.
Yes, there will be some baking challenges that the students will do.
Well, if you need taste testers, perhaps.
Well, you could come and join or judge the
Yeah,
cupcake
that's
work.
what I'm saying. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
So all of these experiences, how do people find out about them? I know CTE does a great job of putting information out on the social media pages and their website and such, but how can families find out about these opportunities?
We do have, there is a website, it's career, CTEcareercamps.com. You can go there and it will show the different camps that we have, because I know I didn't talk about culinary, and we do have that too, learning about whole foods and making those into meals. And another experience that we have for students is we offer a high school health careers exploration camp, and that's a one-day camp, and we go over to the Avera campus, and that's open to 10th through 12th graders.
Okay. So really, if you're started to think about, oh, what am I going to do after high school, that can get you some up-close looks at what careers are available.
Yes, that's what they're designed to do. We just want to get them some exposure and let those students start thinking about, hey, what are some things I might like to do?
Right. So oftentimes we think of camps as being, oh, that's for elementary and middle school kids. But really, this is a very focused opportunity for the high school kids as well.
Yes, it is.
Awesome, cool. And then we have high school summer school going on too. You can earn credits during the summer months.
Yes. So out here we do offer a couple of classes that are in person. So we have in-person speech, and we also offer team camp. And so, for instance, for those students that might be involved in a lot of activities, it gives them an opportunity to take a class and free up a little bit of time in their schedule so they could take other things. Or it allows for, if kids get some of those credits done early, they can take more dual credit classes.
Right, right. So that can be a jump ahead, or really just, like you said, sometimes we run into students who are so overly busy during the school year with band and choir and those types of things. They don't want to give that up, but they're trying to then fit the other requirements into their schedule as well. And this can be a really great opportunity to get some of those other credits taken care of during the summer months.
Yes, that's exactly what it's designed for. And we also have a variety of online classes where students could do those at home, but yet they would come to our school to have their tests proctored. So they would need to attend here about 6 to 8 times during the summer.
Okay, well, some great options. We'll get some information out where people can sign up for those camps, also for high school, summer school as well, and really encourage families to consider this. I know people at the end of May are kind of like, we're done with the school year. But there are a lot of great fun things happening in the summer as well for kids.
Yeah, there really are, and I know we've just had really good, the kids that have come in for camps in the past have really enjoyed them and just had fun.
Awesome, awesome. Well, do consider this a great opportunity to expose your kids to a potential career in the future, or gain some credits so that they're less stressed during the school year. Thanks for joining us, Shar.
Thank you.